Welcome to the 35th anniversary celebration of the Kiss album Hot in the Shade. Today, on the day that we're filming, is the 35th anniversary of the last Kiss album of the 1980s. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Speaking of Hot in the Shade, we just got back from Vegas. Literally a few days ago. We got back from Kiss World, which if you saw our last video before this one, then you guys already know all about it. It was so much fun, and it was a long time in the making. And so going to Vegas maybe isn't the most fun thing, but going to Kiss World is by far the most fun thing.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, for real. So anyway, if you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out. But we were going to, once we got back, record this episode and have it up last Sunday. But that did not happen. We got back and we were just absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, we were beat.
We were tired, jet lagged. We woke up at 4 in the morning and then got on our flight, and when we landed, a 4-hour flight, it was suddenly 1:30 p.m.
Yeah, time change.
Time change, horrible. And
it helped us on the way there, but it was terrible on the way back.
Everything just seemed, it was and then we got home and there was no hot water.
Yeah, we've had a week.
Yeah, but anyway, all that aside, we're happy to be here with you guys talking about our favorite band, the hottest band in the world, Kiss, which is kind of funny because the album is also called Hot in the Shade. Mm-hmm. So, we're not going to delay anymore because this is the longest Kiss album, and we want to make sure that we get right down to it, doing a full album review, track by track. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. We're kicking it off with another Kiss classic album opener banger, Rise to It.
It's amazing.
What do you think about Rise to It? Because I'm going to go all day, so you better go ahead and start now.
Yeah. So this is... I know, I feel like I say this a lot because Kiss is really good at album openers, but this is, again, one of the best album openers I could possibly think of.
They could do a whole, compilation greatest hits album of just Kiss album openers.
Yes!
And it would be the most fire compilation. Why is that not a greatest list or greatest hits album in my vinyl collection?
That's so true, because they're almost always just, so high energy, just coming in hot every time.
We talked about what the last episode we did was Sonic Boom.
Yes.
With Martin Delilah, and it was the same conversation. It's if you're going to start off an album...
We've talked about it with Exciter on Look It Up.
Yep.
What's the album opener on Animalize? I've Had Enough?
I've Had Enough.
Fire?
Yeah.
I feel like the last few albums we've talked about, it's been the same conversation.
Yeah.
So I know that I've said it 5 times.
You can look outside those, you can just look at Asylum, King of the Mountain, the same way. We've always mentioned, Love Gun.
Psycho Circus?
Psycho Circus, the album opener, Fire.
They know how to pick them, because
Unholy, that's a rare gene.
Is there a miss with album openers? Because I can't think of one.
First album, Strutter. Second album, what's the second album? Got to Choose, I think, is the first song on Hotter Than Hell. That's a banger. I mean, it's I think I mentioned, that was something else completely different. Dress to Kill, Room Service. That's, banger. Yeah. Destroyer. We're on a completely different topic right now. Let's go ahead and assume that no. Let's go ahead and assume that no.
They're all fire.
They're all fire.
Agreed. No, I love this song. I love the beginning. The beginning of it almost has a country vibe to it. I'm
guitar.
what is hapappening?
It's Paul Stanley on the slide guitar.
Is it Paul?
I believe it is Paul Stanley. Correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe it's Paul on the slide guitar.
That's awesome. I just love the intro. It's just a little twangy, a little country, and then it comes in hard rock and roll.
I don't think it was originally intended to have that intro.
Really?
I think that was something that Paul kind of added at the end. It was
that.
You know what, I'm going to put this in, and everyone's kind of what are you doing? But I will be honest, it does sound kind of weird to think that the song, not that it would be bad, because it's still, the song is still the song, but we know it as what it is with the the classic opener. But it would be interesting to hear the song or hear the album open with just, Gene's bass slide and then right into it. First note. I mean, it would still be, we'd be here saying, oh man, it's so cool how they just do a bass line right into it.
Because
we would change the conversation, but that's because it'd be something completely different.
Right. And it would be more like that conversation we had last time about Modern Day Delilah, how we love that it just comes in hard.
Yes.
No lead up.
Right.
So I guess that's one thing they do vary, even though they have a common theme of the first song being super high energy and amazing. Yeah. Is sometimes there is a little bit of a build up before it gets crazy, and sometimes we just go straight into it.
Absolutely. And this one you kind of get a little bit of something in between, somewhere between heaven and hell. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, but no, this one you kind of get somewhere in the middle because it doesn't start out as immediate and as
Right.
As, maybe Sonic Boom or Love Gun or whatever, but at the same time, you do, like, it eases you in.
Exactly.
To the song. So it does feel kind of weird having that slide guitar intro with the rest of the song, but again, as Kiss fans, we've heard it that way for so long.
I love it.
That if it was any different, it would just feel wrong.
Agreed.
But this song, and I know I've said this a million times, but this one is definitely for sure a top 20 favorite Kiss song of mine. This is one that Jeb and I heard on day one of being a Kiss fan. The music video was in Extreme Close Up.
Yeah.
One of the more fun Kiss music videos of all time.
I did want to touch on the video.
The small concert setting where it's like a performance video of them playing. Something about it just feels total 80s, total Hollywood.
Yes, it's so good.
It's a very fun video because, as we know, Kiss on the next album, they're going to transition into a more tough.
Right.
But this one, they're just all smiles and it's all fun.
And I love that it's a small, intimate venue that they're at because they are surrounded by fans and they are like down almost on their level. You know what I mean? It's where they can like touch them and everything.
Yeah, the fans could almost reach up and play the guitar.
It's really cool. And then the other fun thing about this video is we get the uncanny weirdness of 80s Gene and Paul pretending to be 70s Gene and Paul and putting on the makeup and talking about how they could take off the makeup. And
so iconic.
It's so funny. I just love that little opening and ending bit, and you and Jeb quote it all the time.
Oh yeah, Jeb and I can actually.
I think you have it memorized.
Jeb and I can quote it, and it's funny because we don't do it like, I'll be Gino, you be Paul. Right? We do both at the same time.
You both say the whole thing.
And because it's just, again, we saw it. That was our first memory, was watching Kiss Extreme Close Up, or just finding out about Kiss in life, in general. So yeah, that has stuck with us. But at the time, I remember even questioning, how was that filmed in '75? Like, there still is no way. But now that I'm older, I actually realize that you actually have Eric Carr in the video with his back turned, and he's playing, if you listen, he's playing the fill to Deuce. Yeah. As if he's practicing. Yeah. And then, you kind of got Bruce off to the side. You can't see his face. But, it's still, uncanny is a good word.
Yes.
Because
you can tell it's not 70s.
You can tell. It's like, why is Crazy Nights era Kiss, which is like the era afterwards, but, still, it's like, why is Crazy Nights era Kiss playing dress up as themselves? And they clearly are wearing wigs. Paul's wearing his Love Gun outfit. Gene's wearing his like Unmasked or Creatures. So it's like,
it's disjointed and weird.
In more than one ways. So, but still really cool that they did that, because we talked about just earlier about how they were kind of like not really acknowledging the 80s or the 70s era, the makeup era of Kiss at this time. They were all about the new non-makeup Kiss. This is the new Kiss. This is the better Kiss. And, the new members and the new music and the new style. So that's what they were all about, the new. So for the first time ever, they were actually looking back and being a little bit nostalgic. Yeah. I don't know when Kiss Exposed came out, but it would have been around the same time as well. So, and on that video, you had like 70s throwback clips and live clips and stuff like that. So they were only just starting to acknowledge that, and they played some of that stuff live. Yeah. They opened up the set with I Stole Your Love.
We were just watching those clips, and I just love watching 80s Kiss do 70s Kiss.
Oh, man.
Because it's so high energy and fast and different.
Thanks, Eric.
Yeah, seriously, but it's so much fun. It's a blast.
Absolutely.
But not to get off topic, we love Rise to It.
Yeah, no, Rise to It, absolutely. Rise to It is one of those songs where, in my mind, because again, I know that Rise to It does have some, like most Kiss songs, sexual innuendos, and it's a play on words. Yeah. But at the same time, I still put Rise to It in the same category as like Live to Win. Mm-hmm, yeah. Rise to It, Live to Win, Lick It Up. It's like, how many times can Paul say the exact same thing? A million. Right. But, because again, Lick It Up is also the same way, where it's like, it's filled with all these like double entendres and all these, sexual innuendos, but the song is literally saying, life is a treat. Yes. It's time you taste it.
Yeah. It's so not just... On the surface level,
it might be about sleazy
sex.
Rock song.
Yeah, but...
But what they're saying is, when it comes to life, you don't half-ass it. You go all in. You live life to the fullest. Don't taste test it. Lick it up.
Yes.
Get all you can take.
Live life to the fullest.
Get all you can take.
Yeah.
How many Kiss songs can we, name? A million.
Most of, 75% of all songs.
There you go. So... I like how, that fits into this category, too. And my favorite part is, get up, lights, camera, action. Yes. It's time for the show. It's tonight. You're the main attraction, and if you want a lover who can play the other role, I'm gonna boom, boom, boom. Which makes me think of All Night. Yep. I'm gonna boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna rise to it. It makes me think of,
Yeah, you're right.
But
Good
less cheesy, but still really fun.
Yes, it's more subtle. And that's why I like it.
Still 80s Kiss. So yeah, Rise to It is definitely the perfect way to open this album. It was co-written by Bob Halligan Jr. And if you are like me and you were not familiar with who that is, he's a musician and songwriter who I know he's written with like Helix. I learned that he helped co-write. If you guys have ever heard the song "Rock You," give me an R. I love that. My dad loved that song, and I think he helped co-write that, or at least some songs on that album. And also co-wrote with Judas Priest. But anyway, this song in particular was the third and final single released on Hot and the Shady, which is the last single, but it was the album opener. So kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
How it was the last single, but it opens the album. So anyway, it was released in April of 1990. So it was released 6 months later.
We were just Were we not just talking about this with another album?
Yeah.
That's so interesting that they...
Yeah, and I'm wondering now that we keep talking about it, if it's just because back then, even though the album had come out 6 months later, they still wanted to push it. They still wanted to get sales. The tour was still going.
It's almost like they wait for the hype to start dying down a little bit, and then hit them with another single to try and keep the momentum going.
I think you're right.
That's got to be it.
Because we tend to think in a more modern way, where it's like you need all the hype now to generate all that hype, because what you do now is going to affect tomorrow, because there might not be a tomorrow. So
right.
Do it all today. So yeah, Kiss, if they were going to do this album, you would release... I would release this one first.
Yeah. This
would be the first
feels
single.
like a lead single to me.
It does.
It does.
Well said. It feels like a lead single, and it also feels like a summer song.
Yes.
Because Hot in the Shade, that name is just...
Yeah, and the album cover and
that
the vibe.
Screams July, August.
They're all wearing sunglasses on the back. We're in the desert.
But yet the album came out in October.
Yeah.
So it feels like the timing was a little off.
Yes. Well, and I saw I must have seen this on Facebook recently or something, in a post about the album. Some kind of promo ad or whatever that was like released around Christmas time.
Yes.
Yes.
The Happy Holidays or whatever it was.
Like it made it clever. It was like, it's never too cool to be hot in the shade or something like that.
I do think I saw the same. Yes.
Like, why was it released at this time?
It does, and maybe there is some, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
The record company probably had data that was like, all right,
this is the time.
This is the time, or whatever. There's always a reason for it, but it does seem kind of weird because the album, the artwork and the name and all that, this song, it invokes summer. And this song, having come out like maybe in the summertime, would just be a perfect summer banger.
Yeah.
That prepares you for the release of the album.
Yeah.
When you get Hide Your Heart.
I was going to say, I would have gone, that's exactly what I was going to say. I would have gone Rise to It, Hide Your Heart, Forever. Yeah. 100%.
But now we'll get to Forever, but Forever was the one that like, that was like one of the biggest Kiss hits ever,
Right.
So we'll get to that. But as far as Rise to It, even though it's one of my favorite Kiss songs, this was the lowest charting single of the three, only reaching 81 on the Billboard Hot 100.
That makes me wonder, though, if those numbers would have been different if it had been released first, and I think they would have.
It's possible.
Because I feel like...
But again, I mean, who's to say? I feel like
when an album has been out so long, people already have this song. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely, you're right. It's the third single, but yeah, it opens the album, so it's like, yeah, we've already heard this, and it was like, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yes, anybody who's even listened to the first couple songs of the album have heard it.
Which you probably were, because you just can't, like, let me fast forward. I mean, you could, but, like, why would you just fast forward through your cassette, or,
right.
I guess they had CDs at this time, but I don't know. Anyway, like I said, lowest charting single, only reached 81 on the Billboard Hot 100 and 40 on the mainstream rock charts. Not only that, but this is the last Kiss song ever, the last Kiss single ever to chart on the Billboard Hot 100. So nothing from Revenge, nothing from, Kiss Alive 3 Unplugged, and of course Carnival, but Psycho Circus, keep going. Yeah, no song.
That is crazy.
No Kiss single ever charted.
Charted at all?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I could find, not that I'm aware of.
That's fascinating to think about.
It is. It's super weird because... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a great song.
It's an amazing
song. For whatever reason, just at the time, the vibes weren't it. It just wasn't
it wasn't the time.
Who knows? But yeah, so it's just kind of weird to me that as I was digging, I was like, wow, this was the last Kiss single to chart. And it was only played live on the Hot in the Shade tour for a little bit before it was even dropped.
That's such a bummer.
Yeah. I don't think it... I mean, I don't think it translated as well live. Okay. Not that it was like bad, but most Kiss songs just sound way better live. Yeah. I don't think this one quite had the same energy and the same, same feel as the studio version.
That's fair.
For whatever reason, I don't know. Not that they were blowing it or botching it, but
it just wasn't working as well.
Yeah, and that was the lowest charting single, so you're gonna take that out and make way for something else in the set list. But
yeah, make way for another 70 song that people want to hear.
We can all agree an incredible way to open up the album. But let's go ahead and get to number 2, Betrayed. Betrayed. So, how do you feel about Betrayed?
I like this song, but can I just, and I'm sure you would be saying this later on when you give all the details, but I figured this out myself, so I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Tommy Thayer co-write?
Tommy Thayer's first co-write.
Wow.
Yeah, Tommy Thayer's first co-write.
As I was like, one of my listens through, I was on Spotify and just kind of looking at the credits of each song, just because I was curious. And I was like, Tommy Thayer, that is awesome.
All the way back in 89,
That's so cool.
Yeah, so by this point, definitely, Black and Blue had already opened up for Kiss on like the Asylum tour. Yeah. Gene and Paul had gotten real close with Tommy, and I know Gene had produced a couple Black and Blue records, so they had already worked together. Now they're pretty much friends. I know Paul invited Tommy and a few others to like come over to his house and help renovate and stuff like that. So like they were really close, like on a friendly level. So. At this point, Tommy's now actually writing with the band and getting songwriting credit, so which is pretty incredible. And Gene actually made some comments on it. He said that Tommy Thayer helped on this one about a guy who thinks that life has betrayed him. My point of view is, hey, look, you ain't crucified, so what's so bad?
Yeah.
Eric Carr commented and said that his drum track, the way he approached it, he was looking for something similar to Lars Ulrich from Metallica.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
I never put that connection there.
No, I never would have.
Because when I think Metallica, it's funny because Metallica, let's see, 89, and Justice for All would have came out in 88. So that to me is crazy that they're doing their thrash metal and Kiss is still kind of in their hair metal phase.
Yeah.
But to hear Eric Carr say, I was kind of thinking... I was, kind of being influenced a little bit by Lars Ulrich, and so I wanted to see what Lars might do. But how cool is that? And it's even possible that Tommy played on the guitars, too.
Cool.
Some of the guitars. There's like an acoustic guitar in this song. It's possible that was Tommy, or some of the electric guitar was Tommy. It's not confirmed.
That's cool. That's cool to think about, though.
But Tommy Thayer involved on a Kiss track all the way back in 89.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
It's a really good song. I noticed kind of a theme on this album, especially with Gene's songs, that a lot, if not most of them, are really, even though they're not negative necessarily, they're talking about, the rough parts of life and the struggles of life.
They're getting back to that street aspect. Because, the street Giveth and Street Taketh Away and some of those songs. But, Gene, it's more gritty.
Yes, it's more gritty. It's more, talking about, other people, you know what I mean? Talking about real people's lives and, the stuff they go through and stuff is very interesting.
You know what? I never looked at it like that, because you're right, because Gene's talking about, he's talking about a guy who thinks life has betrayed him, and it's like, hey, man, look at it from this way. So, you're right, and then, of course, we're going to get to Hide Your Heart, which is a whole story in and of itself. So,
most of the songs on
Little Caesar, who is a character, of course, it's Eric Carr, but it's a character in this story.
Yeah.
Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell is a story about a tortured lover situation. So dang, babe, never really. Is this a low key concept album about life?
It's a very tumultuous.
Hot in the shade. Hot in the shade. Life is rough in the parts where it should be good, or
maybe there's good and bad depending on what you focus on. You're
pain
hot
with the pleasure.
Yeah, but maybe it's I just think about somebody complaining about being hot. And then somebody being like, well, at least you're in the shade. I'm over here. I'm over here in direct sunlight, dying. You're at least, sheltered. It's a privilege kind of... I might be reading way too deep into it. I think we're onto something.
Wow, I think we are, too. Is this a low-key, concept album? That's pretty cool. I never thought about it like that, but yeah.
I mean, we'll see it more as we go song by song, but most of the album... flows very well from that theme.
You get a lot of different songwriting on it. I mean, that's something that I never realized. Yes, you have songs like Read My Body and...
Yeah, it's not that there aren't, regular sleazy
Kiss
fun
songs,
ones.
But a lot of the songs are a little more introspective or just approached a lot differently songwriting-wise than any other Kiss song. Wow.
Yeah.
See, now I'm appreciating that more. Are you guys liking this? Because I'm liking this. I never appreciated that. That's the kind of
stuff that I notice is the songwriting stuff.
See, and here I am thinking that Betrayed was one of my least favorite Gene songs of the
now
album.
You're going to appreciate it more.
Because, you're absolutely right. Because, to me, I was thinking that Prisoner of Love should be track number 2.
Okay.
That track starts off so hot, and I don't want to skip to it, because we'll get to it, but Betrayed just seems like you're coming off this incredible Paul song, and then Betrayed just feels like a step down before going to Hide Your Heart, which Hide Your Heart is supposed to be like in the middle. There's peaks and valleys to an album, but you want to have those ones that ride the middle before going back up, and I feel like having Betrayed before that just... I don't know, it ruins the flow that hasn't even been set up yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
But this album is just a bunch of glorified demos, so...
Yeah, but I mean, you could also see Betrayed as kind of a nice lead-in to Hide Your Heart. Because, he could be singing that to one of the characters, you know what I mean? Because they're all going through stuff, and they're all struggling with life.
I just feel like with Rise to It and that energy, you want to kind of continue that momentum a little bit. Yeah. Into track number 2.
Before it gets heavier.
And I get that from Prisoner of Love. Yeah. But that's not until track 4.
Yeah, because that one
You get Rise to It, and then you get Betrayed, and then you get Hide Your Heart. Yeah. And then you get Prisoner of Love. So you're kind of like going up, down, up a little too quick.
Yeah, I understand that.
I kind of want to go up, and then I want to stay up a little bit before going back down to Hide Your Heart, and then Betrayed if you wanted to,
No, that makes sense.
But that's just me being literally really picky right now. Yeah. Because honestly, it is a good song. It's fine. It is cool to see Tommy Thayer on the co-write.
Yeah, his vocals, Gene's vocals towards the end are crazy.
This is one of those ones where Gene's trying to compete with Paul, hitting real high notes.
And he is competing with him. He has a fantastic range.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
I love when we get to hear it. Also, I wanted to mention, because we discussed this when we were listening to the album on the way back from the airport, I think. Yeah. That this is yet another, we keep kind of finding more than we thought, another Kiss song with an F word, the F word in it.
Yes.
I feel like we thought we found the only one or two, but this might be...
When we did our Animalize review, we talked about the song Get All You Can Take. Yeah. And how it has the lyric, what fucking difference does it make? Mm-hmm. And so we thought, it's crazy how a Kiss song has the F word in it on the studio album, because they don't really do that. I mean, they'll dance around certain topics and, things like that, but to actually just use the F word like that is not something Kiss does. And here they are in Animalize doing it, just in a real subtle way on the chorus where it's kind of hard to hear. But then somebody on Patreon commented and was like, hey, actually, if you listen closely, there's another song, Radar for Love, where Paul says the F word. And I'm like, you're right. It's not on the lyric sheet. It's not on Genius or any other lyric site. But if you listen closely, towards the end, or at least past the first chorus, I believe, where Paul says, maybe it's first chorus, I'm not sure, where Paul says, or the chorus is Radar for Love, and Paul says, yeah. Or it sounds really, if not, it sounds really close.
You showed me, and that's exactly what it sounds like really to me.
Close. But this one.
In this one, it's towards the, I guess kind of towards the middle/end. There's a more spoken part where Gene's kind of talking, and it is kind of soft, so it's not like real obvious in your face. But he says, well, you got your back against the wall, and nobody gives a F.
Does it actually say it on the lyrics?
It does. It says it on Genius. I'm on Genius now. No one gives
Guess what?
F word.
Here we go.
I don't think it says it on there. Didn't I look? Maybe not. Maybe I'm thinking about the other album.
Yeah, it's not on here.
Let me see what it says instead.
I don't think it has any of the spoken word part on
I don't think it does either, because it is spoken word. You're right.
It only has the lyrics.
Because it doesn't even say, got your back against the wall. That's interesting. I feel like that was their kind of way of getting away with it.
Yes,
it's not sung and it's not on the lyric sheet, so it doesn't count.
There is no, there's no parental advisory sticker on here.
Right. Yeah.
And there's other songs where life's a bitch, just don't quit.
Yeah, I mean, he says that.
So yeah, exactly. So they're
life's a
twice in this song. They're using profanity on more than one occasion in this album,
but not the F word. Technically,
allegedly. But according to that website, they are saying.
Well, and according to my ears,
is saying. Yeah, no, I heard it too.
He is for sure saying.
But it's funny how like we just kind of always say, oh yeah, there was only one time. It's like no, there's maybe three times.
I think 3 allegedly.
Where Kiss uses the F word, but anyway.
But yeah, it's a good song. Not my favorite Gene one, but it definitely has grown on me this time around.
But what about Hide Your Heart? What about Hide Your Heart, though, babe? Talk to me about Hide Your Heart. Track number 3.
You guys know I love Hide Your Heart. I think everyone knows
This is
I
like
love
one
Hide
of
Your
your
Heart.
favorite Kiss songs of all time?
Probably top 5.
Top 5 favorite
Top
Kiss songs
5
of all
favorite
time?
Kiss songs. I know we say that kind of stuff all the time, like top 20, top 10, top 5, but like,
Well,
I've consistently said this is top 5 for a while
this
now.
one and I Fight Hell to Hold You are in your top 5.
Oh my gosh.
What else
Hell
what's in your
might
top
be
5?
number 1. I don't know. See, I haven't thought about it that closely. It's just when we talk about certain songs, I'm like, that one.
Is Sure Know Something in your top 5?
Maybe. Definitely top 10.
Top 10? Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up there.
Sure Know Something's top 20 for me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's top 10 at least, maybe top 5. But no, sure. I adore Hide Your Heart. I feel like I've talked about it before, so I don't want to say too much, but it's just a perfect song. It's perfect songwriting. I love a story in a song, especially one that's like very obviously not about the narrator. You know what I mean? One that's fictional.
Yeah, Paul's narrating.
Yes, Paul's narrating a song about these fictional lovers, and it's like giving like Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story kind of vibes.
Yeah.
And it's I know there is a fantastic music video that we rewatched recently that plays out the story, but I don't even need that because I have that exact imagery in my head.
Yeah.
Already.
Like that's the book, and then watching the music videos like that's the movie.
Yes. Yeah.
You can just already picture it in your head just by hearing the song.
It's so vivid. And this song, I know we've talked before about how before this ever came out as a Kiss song, even though Paul, Desmond, and Holly Knight. I thought it was Desmond Child. Okay, and Holly Knight. Even though they wrote it, that other artist recorded it first. I think Bonnie Tyler was the first one to put it out.
Yeah, and it was the name of her album.
Yeah, it was and it was a hit for her. As far as I know. And,
somewhere, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just interesting that Kiss was not the first one to put it out, but
I know, it's
so good.
Paul must have really not thought that it was, because I think it was demoed for
It's crazy
Nights.
Couldn't.
It was demoed for Crazy Nights, and I was like, I think Ron Nevison, who was the producer, didn't think that Hide Your Heart was good enough for Crazy Nights, and so I don't know, maybe that kind of like not like, you know, diminished Paul's pride or like or whatever, but like maybe he thought, oh, okay, well, I mean, if it won't work for us, it should work for somebody else.
Yeah,
at least,
well, maybe he was like, well, he knows what he's talking about. Maybe it just wasn't meant for Kiss, and like you said, maybe somebody else could do it really well. Because I'm sure he still believed in it as a song, regardless of whether it's Kiss or not, or he wouldn't have put it out there for other people to record.
I can't believe that it's freaking Desmond and.
I'm sorry,
Paul.
they can do no wrong.
It's
Paul
Desmond
Stanley and Desmond Child together, they're gonna write a perfect song.
It's gonna be a banger.
Yes. It's so good. And I love, this song kind of starts another trend on this album of little vocal just sounds, like vocal catchy ad-libs. Little ad-libs. And this one, it's hey, hey, do. I love that. And there's actually quite a few songs in this album that have their own little sound.
Yeah.
And it's catchy and I love it.
What's the one where it's like, na, 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 na. Is that Love is like a slap in the face?
It's in my notes when we get there. I'm not sure.
Slap in the face. Anyway, yeah, no, you're right. It's like very Beatle-y.
Yes.
Because the Beatles always had those ooh, la, la, la's, and the ahs, and the oohs, and the whatever. And so, you know, here's Kiss, like, na, 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 na.
I love it.
And doing all that kind of stuff.
It just makes it that much catchier.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
That's why this is one of the most fun Kiss albums. This album is like one of those albums that like deserves to be played at full volume with the windows down.
Absolutely.
On a day that looks like the album cover.
Yes,
where it's bright, sunny, not a cloud in sight, just open skies, open road, and windows down, hot in the shade, in the disc player. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's fire.
Fantastic song.
Especially, well, I'm going to talk about Hide Your Heart now because this one is another one that, again, I heard on like pretty much day one of being a Kiss fan. It was the music video right before both Forever and Rise to It on Kiss Extreme Close Up. So very familiar with this. And this story is absolutely captivating. Like the characters, Rosa, Tito, and Johnny.
Yes.
And, you know, again, back to the street life. You know, like it's rough and tough on the streets. You get mixed up with the wrong people, wrong place, wrong time. Bang, you know, life is over. And so what we noticed was that there were two versions of the music video. There's an uncensored version, and then there's an edited version that takes out a lot of the gun violence.
Yes.
Because in my mind, just watching the regular censored, you know, video, the one that's on YouTube, the one that's on Extreme Close Up, you watch it, and in my mind, the idea is that Johnny tries to, mess around with Tito, who's not messing around.
Yeah.
And shoots and kills Johnny.
Yeah.
And he goes to prison for that. Johnny dies, and then Rosa is just left tortured, traumatized, and left alone. So everybody loses. But in the uncensored video, you actually find out that both men bring guns to the fight. Both men fire at each other, and both men take their lives, or each other's life.
Yeah,
and
the song does not
alone.
say that specifically, so that's a music video specific thing. But yeah, that's something that I would not have guessed, because based on the lyrics of the song, it really doesn't specify. It just says a shot rang out. The blood was on her hands. Can I talk about that line real quick?
Go ahead, please.
Because I think again it may have been when we were driving back from somewhere the other day, and we were listening to the album again. And I just really thought about that line. What's the whole line?
A shot rang out like thunder, and the blood was on her hands with nothing won.
With nothing won, yeah. But the blood was on her hands. Like, I always thought about that line more literally, and I think it is literally. Like, I imagine her, because at the beginning of that verse, Johnny and Rosa are holding each other on a rooftop in the night. So they're, like, embracing already.
Yeah.
So I see her as, like, holding him while he's dying as he's been shot, literally blood on her hands. But I also think about how, like, everyone in this scenario has responsibility, and, like, even though obviously she loved Johnny and not Tito, who, like, owned her.
Right, yeah, he was abusive.
But she also, was messing around and, like, and lying and hiding and things like that. So, like, she has some responsibility. So, like, the blood is on her hands in a more metaphorical way, too.
It's a double. It's both literal and figurative.
It's like, what was this worth? Like,
golly.
We're all that for what?
Talking about Kiss right here, guys.
Yeah.
We need to start putting some respect on Kiss's name, because Kiss gets, there's lazy songwriting, and it's like, man, when they want to, they can put pen to paper.
Yes, it's so good. Like, the song literally gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. You could feel a chill.
Yeah, that's good. You could feel a chill. That's another thing I love about this song. Is just the drama of Paul's voice. Like, how he kind of goes back and forth between singing and, like, kind of speaking. Oh, it's so good.
It's very dramatic.
Yes. He's literally telling us a story.
He's emoting.
I feel like he's reading to us. It's amazing.
Paul, read me a story.
Yeah.
This one's called Hide Your Heart.
Yes.
This song is absolutely awesome. And like I said, it was written by Holly Knight, and Holly Knight was in a band called Spider with Anton Fig.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And the band was managed by Bill Aucoin.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And Holly Knight, she played keyboards in the band that Bill hired for Unmasked.
Oh.
So the keyboards that you hear on Unmasked was played by Holly Knight.
That is so
I did not know until this episode. I was like, who is Holly Knight? I did some looking around.
I don't really know that name.
And it turns out that Holly Knight was in a band with Anton Fig, who we all know, played drums on Dynasty and Unmasked. Well, Anton was playing drums in a band called Spider with Holly Knight, and when Bill Aucoin got Anton to play drums on Unmasked, he also got Holly.
That's amazing.
And she played keyboards, and I was like, you're kidding me.
And there's a lot of keyboard on Unmasked, so she is all over that. That's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
That's a very fun fact.
Very, very fun fact. And we also mentioned how other artists got a hold of it, too. So, Bonnie Tyler was the first one to release the version of Hide Your Heart. That was in May of 89. Molly Hatchet also recorded a version that was released September of 89. Kiss and Ace both released theirs in October of 89. Mm-hmm. And according to some sources, I think Ace's came out 4 days early. Mm-hmm. But there were also some reports that said that it came out like a week later, so who knows? But Ace picked up Paul's song.
I know, it's so weird.
And recorded it for, I think, Trouble Walking.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Which, I mean, Ace's version is fine. They're all fine.
They're all fine.
They're all fine, but it's Paul.
Nobody can tell that story like he does.
He's him.
I feel like everybody else is just singing the song. Like, I know that sounds stupid, but I feel like they're just singing the song, and that's it. He is, like, emoting and putting everything into it.
Yeah.
I can tell that I feel like he really did love this song, and maybe was secretly a little disappointed that it didn't end up on what album was
Crazy
it?
Nights.
On Crazy Nights?
Yeah.
So I feel like when he finally got the chance to record it for this album, he was like, oh, I've been waiting for this, and I know exactly how I'm going to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've heard the demo, and the demo sounded very close.
Yes.
Which, again, they probably just took some of that demo and maybe tweaked it a little bit and then made it the final version. That's what they did for most of the songs on this album, was just took the demos and beefed them up a little bit, because that was just their way of saving money, because money was kind of tight around this time for Kiss. I think this is also the year they sold their publishing.
Oh, okay.
So that's why Universal owns the majority of Kiss's catalog, is because I think around this time is when they sold it off, just to try and keep the ship afloat, basically. But this song was played live, of course, on the Hot in the Shade tour. It was played on Paul's Live to Win tour.
Yes.
The 40th anniversary tour, which is when I saw it live.
Yeah.
But it was also played for the first handful of shows on the End of the Road tour as well. I wish we could have seen it.
I know. I really do.
I don't think it was there in March when we saw them in Louisville.
I don't think so.
But,
man, that would have been so cool.
That would have been really cool. But I still think it's awesome that it made it.
Yeah, the
past
fact that they even...
It was in 2014 and in 2019. So it made it past the End of the Road tour, which is awesome. So love this song. I think it's great. Let's move on now to Prisoner of Love.
Yes.
This is one of my favorite Gene songs on the album. And again, I still think it should have been the first Gene song on the album. I think it just would have continued some momentum on the album. But this was written by both Gene and Bruce.
Yes, I saw that. That's something I was going to bring up too. That was very cool to see a Bruce co-write. And this is you're right. This is one of the best Gene ones. I really like this song. I think one thing I was going to mention is the Yes I Know reminds me of Sonic Boom. Yes, I know.
Wow.
Nobody's perfect. I think about that every time. The Yes, I Know.
Kind of makes
I know
me
it's
wonder
like kind
if
of random, but
maybe he had a demo around the time called Yes, I Know.
Maybe.
I don't know, because we talked about how some of the Hot in the Shade demos ended up being referenced for Sonic Boom. So that's a good, interesting callback.
Yeah, every time I heard them go, oh, yes I know. I was like,
nobody's perfect.
Yes.
No, that's fun. I didn't really catch that, but very cool. Yeah. I like this song. Bruce commented on it saying, we originally did a different version, like a more mid-tempo version, and I really loved the way that one came out. We totally switched direction because Gene desperately wanted to make it a shuffle. You wouldn't think it was the same song, although I had the same chorus.
Okay.
So Gene wanted to have more of like a shuffle rrhythm to it.
Okay.
But apparently the original version was
more mid-tempo. I wonder if it was kind of more emotional. Like, that's interesting.
I don't know. I'd like to hear that demo. I'm not sure if that demo exists. I don't even think I tried to look for that.
Yeah, we definitely should see if it's out there. Yeah.
I don't know. I think
it's perfect.
But then again, that's all I know.
I do think it's great the way it is, but it would be interesting to hear a different take on it.
Yeah. Yeah. One of my favorite parts in the song is towards the guitar solo, when you have that classic Eric Carr beat on the ride snare.
Yes.
He does that, I think, on Saint and Sinner back on Creatures of the Night, and then also did it during his drum solo on the Animalized tour.
Nice.
So the fact that drum beat came back, I wonder how it came back, because to me it's a total callback. Like, you can't just be like, oh, hey, look what I came up with. Because it's like, no, that was on Satan Center. Yeah. It was on the tour. Like, Eric Carr knows what he's doing.
I think it's an intentional callback.
So I love that callback, because you don't really have a lot of those self-referential moments in Kiss. Mm-hmm. The only ones I could think of are when, on Crazy Nights, when Paul says, love gun, bang, bang you. He mentions love gun.
I'll shoot you down with my love gun.
Yes, exactly. He references love gun on Bang, Bang You. And then on Psycho Circus, they reprise some of the same stuff from Within and the song Psycho Circus on the song Journey of 1,000 Years.
Right.
So, on Carnival of Souls, one of Gene's songs, I don't know if it's Childhood's End or one of those, but Gene says, you got something about you got something I need.
Yeah.
Which is the opening line to God of Thunder at the very end of a song. So, I guess there are a few, but it's still few far and in between.
Yeah, I guess you could kind of, and this one seems more obvious, and it makes more sense, but on The Elder, there's a lot of that, like with the I'm Just a Boy melody, like, comes totally back true. In a lot of other songs, but that makes more sense because it is a concept album, and it is, I see it as like a musical soundtrack almost.
Still fun, though.
Yeah.
Still fun, though. So, Prisoner of Love, I think, is great. I think it's one of the ones that, it's one of the Gene cliches that works. I'm a prisoner of love. but I can't break these chains.
Yeah.
You know, that subtle, simple, not subtle, but simple, but it works.
Yeah.
I like it.
It is good.
I think it works for the chorus.
There's also a lot of great cowbell on this song.
Dang right.
Which I love.
There's always good cowbell.
Yes.
In Kiss songs. That's the way it is. Speaking of, I don't know if it's cowbell, but what is it that opens up Read My Body? Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, it is a weird...
It's not necessarily cowbell.
I'm not
but
sure
I don't
what
know.
it is.
But
it's
it's
different.
something. Maybe it is cowbell. This is a differently pitched cowbell.
Yes, I even wrote "love the cool percussion intro," but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. Me too. It's fun. This was also another one written by both Paul and Bob Halligan Jr.
Yeah.
So Bob Halligan had a couple co-writes on this album, with this one being his second. This is the song that Kiss fans love to hate.
Yeah.
This is the Kiss song that's always considered like bottom 5 worst Kiss songs ever, and I have a theory on why.
Okay. Because that's crazy
and
to me.
while I don't think it's in the bottom 5, I can see why some fans would not like it, because I kind of realized with this listen through that it appears way too early on the album.
You think? Okay.
You've
thought a lot about the track
Read
listing.
My Body. Oh, every album. Yeah. Track 5, Read My Body. Like, no.
You don't think they were ready for that yet?
No, they were not ready. This is one of those ones kind of like Take Me Down Below on Monster.
Yeah.
Where like you have the entire Monster album, which is great. You know, it's a long way down, back to the Stone Age. You know, The Devil Is Me, all these Wall of Sound, these Hallelujah, Hallelujah.
Yeah.
And then you get to your tongue-in-cheek.
Right.
You know, I Raised My Flag and She Dropped Her Dress. Track 11, okay?
Yeah.
Right before the end.
Right.
This one should have been flip-flopped with, come on, King of Hearts. Why is King of Heart all the way down here?
You are correct. On a really long album that a lot of people are checked out of by now.
On a really long album where people are more likely to check out.
That's very true.
A song like King of Hearts is way down here when it should be track number 5.
I think that's valid.
King of Hearts should have been track number 5. I think this album would have been loved a lot more if Prisoner of Love had been track 2. And then this one had not been so early on the album.
Yeah, that's so valid.
Because this one, it's like you have songs like we've talked about all these songs and their lyrical content and Hide Your Heart and how special they are. And it feels like Read My Body kind of like it's a little too soon for Read My Body. You know, you're coming out of this really interesting, storytelling.
Yeah.
And then you're going right back to
into that
sleazy Kiss,
corny,
which there's no problem with that, but like let your album breathe a little bit,
right? Before
because
we get
King
to
of
more
Hearts
corny metaphors,
is one of those ones that really fits in with that category.
I love it.
And having it down as like track 10 or whatever, in the bottom third of the freaking album, it kind of gets lost. And I don't think King of Hearts. That's why it's an obscure B track, or an obscure lost track in the Kiss catalog, is because it's just kind of like Love Me to Hate You. It's like 2 really awesome Paul songs on an album
that are buried.
And instead of those songs being celebrated, you have songs like Read My Body being drugged through the mud.
Yeah.
But all in all, this song is just pure classic Kiss fun. It's not to be overthought. Like those other songs, like we did Hide Your Heart, we did Betray, we did all that. Okay, good, fine. This one is where you just get to relax and just listen to a fun beat and relax.
And it's a great song.
It's so
Paul's
fun.
Paul's vocals are insane on this song.
Paul always kills it with the vocals.
And I'm sorry, I will never understand like hating this song or some of the other 80s like hypersexual songs that we've talked about.
But then listening to a song from Grab Onto My Rocket. Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Like,
She
is it just because they're in their 30s now instead of their 20s? That, why? Why is that fine, but this isn't?
This song to me...
Because this isn't even the worst one. Like, it's
extra, read all about it. I love
corny,
it.
But, like,
I love it.
I think it works.
Or the letters... Is the font big enough?
Yes! Are the letters big enough? Do you like the Book of My Love?
Do you like the Book of My Love? Oh, my gosh. It's so good.
I eat it up. I love it. And I'm sorry, even if you don't like the lyrics, musically, this song is insane. They change keys like a bunch of times.
There's a lot of key changes.
it just every time I listen to it, it blows my mind because they just keep going up and up and up. Like if you compare the first chorus to the last one, I need to do that. Compare the first chorus to the last one, side by side. I want to see what the difference is because it feels like it just keeps lifting and lifting, and he's singing higher and higher. And it's so good. I don't care what words he's saying. It's amazing.
Right, yeah, no, absolutely. And there's even at one point where there are no words except for yeah. It's like, yeah.
Back and forth.
Yeah, it's like, that's just, who cares? You know? It's like, oh, lick it up. Well, yeah, well, yeah, well, yeah. It's like, just keep doing that.
Yes.
Give me more of that. That's fun stuff. And this song, you kind of have Paul almost using like a rap style vocal.
Yes, I was gonna say it reminds me of
do you wanna make a scream and shout?
It
Whatever
reminds
it
me
is.
of like All Hell's Breaking Loose.
Yeah,
like
it has that
the rap talking. Like,
yeah, exactly. And Kiss doesn't really do a whole lot of that. So this is like only one of two songs where you really have that.
It's so 80s.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, didn't we talk about at some point how Tone Loc, the rapper, was considered to rap a verse on this song?
Wasn't it?
Yes. Because he, I think around the same time, he sampled Christine 16 for his song Funky Cold Medina. Yes. Which we also learned that this year. This year has been eye-opening for Kisster. You guys are getting fed. We're getting fed. Our minds are expanding. Musically, Kiss is just, it's embedded in the culture, man. In every culture. It's crazy.
Funky Cold Medina.
But yeah, Funky Cold Medina uses Christine 16. And it's like, oh, thank you for using our track. Why don't you come rap a verse? And, you know, why it didn't happen, who knows? But I've always wondered that would have been the only instance where you have another artist.
A feature. Kiss does not do features.
Kiss does not. Absolutely not.
What?
Has Kiss ever done a feature? No.
Yes. Only thing I can think of is Samurai Sun.
Besides MCZ, yes. You're right. You're right.
That is a collab.
That was a collab. That was a
not on an album though.
That was a collab, a duet. No,
yes,
you're absolutely right.
But not on an album, and I don't think they ever would have on an album. What?
The closest we get, maybe Michael Bolton.
Yeah, but he's not.
He's not singing though.
No, he's not singing, and he's not.
What if Michael Bolton was ripping vocals on that song too with Paul? Too hot.
I can't even think about
Track
that.
would be too fire.
No, I think it would have got even. It would have been huge.
It probably would have been considered like a gay anthem, but
maybe.
But that would be incredible.
Man,
because Michael Bolton's got some pipes
that
too.
I never heard them sing together because that would have been amazing.
Because Michael Bolton can sing.
Oh, absolutely.
Paul can wail.
Yeah.
And hearing both of them together, what I do, mess my hair up, fix my hair for sure. Anyway, yeah, no, but to hear possibly Tone Loc rap a verse would be interesting. I don't think the Kiss Army would like it.
No.
I definitely think that would have been the number one worst Kiss song, but I think it'd be a fun treat.
It would not have been a good idea, business wise, to do that on the album. But I think it would be fun to have a remix.
There you go.
Yes,
see, you found the solution.
Yes, to have an alternate single version that is like a remix that has a little bit of more of a hip hop beat added to it. How fun would that be?
That's got to be somewhere out in the multiverse because I'm seeing it now.
It happens.
That's a whole single release. Now, when did Aerosmith do the whole Walk This Way
with Run DMC?
With Run DMC, because that would have been around the
same time, right?
Maybe.
Let me
look
that up.
Was that a 90s thing?
If it's 90s, it's early 90s. Let's look that up real quick.
For sure. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head, but
86. So it was actually
86
earlier.
86. Okay,
yeah.
so yeah, my thought process was that did kind of seem to be a trend. I mean, I'm not sure who else was doing that, but crossing genres like that.
Yeah.
That kind of was a thing, and it
was a little
great
bit,
way.
But I do think Aerosmith. I think that was
that was more of a that was iconic.
Yes.
This would not have been like that. But I'm just saying, conceptually speaking, it would have been cool to have two artists of two different genres doing something like that.
Yeah, and that is an example where there is a version of that song that's just Aerosmith. You know what I mean? That song exists on its own, and then there's a separate version with Run DMC.
With Run DMC.
So that could have been fun.
That would have been awesome to have. I would love to have a Collector's Corner one time where I'm opening up the 7-inch single.
Dude.
Of, this song, Read My Body, featuring Tone Loc, backed with, I don't know, I'm not even going to try.
Yeah.
Cadillac Dreams. I'm not sure what the B-sides were. Somewhere between Heaven and Hell, maybe?
Maybe.
But either way, I don't know. But that would have been a great alternate history. But let's throw a curveball at you. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody ready for this? It's possible that Eric Singer drums on this song. What? I know, right? Crazy. Did not know this until this listening around. So, again, this is 89.
Okay.
And Paul was on his solo tour in early 89.
Yes, that's true.
And who was drumming for the first time?
Eric Singer.
Exactly, Eric Singer. So, Eric and Paul, it's possible that Eric and Paul were doing, or Paul was having Eric do demos with him.
Yeah.
And was demoing For Hot in the Shade. and it's rumored that Eric demoed on this track.
That's crazy.
And if he demoed on this track, it's likely they just took that demo track and made that, again, with most songs on the album, made that the album version. So if you listen to it, you can kind of hear some Eric Singer-ish things happening.
Okay.
Where, again, it's not this crazy song, but with the timing and some of the, choice of, drumming, it kind of does sound like it could be Eric Singer.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell because the drums themselves are not produced the best, so you don't really have that Eric Singer classic drum sound. But if you listen for the style and just the timing of it, it almost does sound like it could be Eric Singer having drum on this.
That's amazing. I hope that's true.
Which, if that is the case, you have the current lineup. You have Tommy and Eric.
Whoa!
All the way back in '89.
That is so freaking
on the
cool.
Kiss album. But it is likely that Eric Singer may have drummed on this album.
I hope that's true. I'm going to accept that as fact.
Yeah, and of course, I'm listening to it now, and I'm just making myself believe it.
Right.
You guys let me know what you think or what you know as far as...
Yeah, if you've heard anything different, let us know.
Eric drumming them, because I wasn't able to find a demo for another version of this. Either way, still a fun fact to mention that Eric Singer could have possibly drummed. But let's go on now to track number 6. Love is like a slap in the face.
Yes, something I first of all, yeah, see what I mean about Gene's songs all being kind of more negative?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Or more like lessons learned.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. You learn the hard way.
What I love is that the first lyric of this song is, we were just talking about this, I can't believe I didn't mention it, is a freaking callback. I've been up, down, all around. I've been up and down. I've been all around.
That was definitely unintentional, but you're
right.
You
don't think that was intentional?
I don't think Gene was referencing a Paul song from Dynasty.
That's crazy because it is almost word for word. That is
true.
He just took out a couple of unimportant words, but it's the same otherwise.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like a Gene just writing, for himself.
Down all around.
But no, you're right. That lyrically is very similar to Sure Know Something. Good call. Did I realize that? I also didn't consider the fact that this was written by Vinny Poncia. Vinny Poncia produced Peter's solo album and Dynasty and Unmasked.
Wow, okay. That's
so cool. Fast forward 10 years, and now they're writing songs with him. So
interesting.
I don't know how they stayed in touch, if they stayed in touch, or how they reconnected. But still really cool to have somebody from History coming back and making an appearance. That
is freaking awesome. No, I do like this song. It's not my favorite Gene one. It doesn't stand out as much as others to me. But yeah, something I wrote down about how the Gene songs are more negative is they're all either love sucks or life sucks.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
And some of them do have a more positive spin. Like Betrayed is life sucks, but you'll be fine, kind of thing.
Yeah, life's a bitch, but just don't quit.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. That is the message. But it's
Absolutely.
Just interesting to me that all of his songs are very similar theme.
I wonder how authentic that was, because again, at this time, Crazy Nights was a decent record for them, but it wasn't a smash hit.
Yeah.
And this album wasn't a smash hit either. But I wonder if it's just because where Kiss was at, it was they're just burnt out.
Yeah.
Because they spent the entire 80s trying to, and to some success, rebuild, relaunch, and rebrand Kiss into a more, then current band. And they did, but they still hadn't quite reached the level they were in 77.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you had other bands who were coming along and doing way better than them. And so it's, it must have felt kind of bad for them,
Yeah.
Oh, man, what are we doing wrong? Or we're just spinning our wheels. We're in our 30s. We're almost in our 40s.
Yeah.
How long can we keep this going? Or who knows what they were thinking? But
right.
You do have a lot of the songs that talk about, again, it's usually Kiss is uplifting and more happy in that way.
This album's more nuanced.
But this album has more nuance, and it's more. Gene actually even commented on this song because I think it was Vinny Poncia who came up with the title, or who kept saying, love's like a slap in the face. And so Gene wanted to take that lyric and, flesh it out. He said he wanted to talk about, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and make the song bittersweet.
Yeah.
And so I think
bittersweet is a good word
so
for the Gene
this
songs.
album is almost like bittersweet.
Yeah.
There's a lot of juxtaposition, a lot of oxymorons,
yes.
hot in the shade.
Yes.
Love is like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Somewhere between
Prisoner of
heaven.
love.
Yeah, prisoner of love. Somewhere between heaven and hell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We are unlocking this album.
We really are.
We are really.
We're fathoming.
We're fathoming. We are unloading this album and unfurling it for everyone to see, because I feel like Kiss doesn't nobody really does this with Kiss albums.
No, they don't.
We just look at it from like one level, and it's like when you get really into it, it's like all this stuff starts coming up to the surface. It's really, really cool. Other than that, though, I really don't have much to say about Love.
Me neither.
Something to Face. It's a fine Gene song.
It's one that's like not bad by any means,
right.
but does not stand out to me on this album necessarily.
Exactly.
I could take it or leave it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But Forever, as we all know, is incredible, and this was a massive, massive hit for Kiss. It was the second single released off the album, charting at number 8 on Billboard.
Nice.
This was a top 10 Billboard smash hit for Kiss. The highest that Kiss had charted since 1976.
Wow.
So this right here, this song is the closest
to 89.
This is the closest that they would ever get to having any sort of the same success from the 70s.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Was this song right? Forever is one of the biggest. It's like I Was Made for Loving You.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest. It's like Beth.
Yeah.
It's just one of those songs where it reached a level that nobody thought that it would or could. Nobody saw it coming.
It is just one of those songs that's so perfectly written. It's just like a classic, is what I would call it. It's a classic, timeless love song.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's one of those that does not... It does not feel tied to any era or any time period. It is just forever.
I would tie it to the 80s.
No, I would, but I don't mean in sound or anything. I just mean... conceptually and lyrically.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it is just a timeless love song. Like, anybody could sing, any other artist could sing that song 50 years prior, 50 years in the future, and every word still would make work. Sense. You know what I mean?
True.
Yeah, it's just timeless. It's just such a well-written love song. It's so beautiful. I think the guitar solo on this song might be the most beautiful guitar solo I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like, as far as just...
It's very elegant. It's very sophisticated.
It gives me chills.
It's emotional.
I've heard this song 1,000... I mean, this is like our song. This was our first dance at our wedding.
Yes.
So I have heard this song so many times, but I still get chills listening to that solo alone. Oh, it's so pretty. The acoustic guitar solo, Bruce Kulick.
And Paul's vocals are soaring.
Yeah,
crazy Paul vocals, incredible musicianship from everybody, especially Bruce Kulick. It was even one that they re-recorded on Kiss Classics.
Yes, that's true.
This was, I think, one of the only non-makeup songs. I think it was this, Lick It Up, and Heaven's on Fire.
Yeah.
I Love It Loud was an 80s song too, but yeah, there's only a handful of 80s songs, and then even less.
See, and it doesn't even feel out of place there. It works.
It's great
everywhere.
Yeah,
it's such a good song.
It was played on Kiss Alive 4 with Peter Criss and Tommy Thayer.
Oh, I love that.
How awesome is that?
That's
when you get members of Kiss playing songs that they didn't usually play, like hearing Peter Criss play Forever. Please, give me more of that.
And haven't there been a couple of times where Tommy Thayer has done?
Tommy played with Peter on that version.
It's just so cool.
It was played on Kiss Cruise 1.
Yeah, okay.
Which the anniversary of Kiss Cruise 1 was here recently. Could you give me the charger real quick before our computer dies? I would not like that to happen. Absolutely. I want this battery to run forever. Anyway,
so much I've been drinking my soda.
Right, I know, and I've been talking so much I've been drinking my soda, and I'm gonna end up having to drink out of yours.
Yeah, I won't finish it.
But anyway, awesome song. It stayed on the chart for 17 weeks.
17?
Kiss knocked this. This song transcends Kiss.
Yeah, it really. That's what I mean.
Dad had I wish I could think of what it was called, but there was Dad had a greatest 80s ballad CD, and it had like Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
Oh yeah.
And all those songs, and this one was on it.
That's awesome.
Because it was like a hit.
Yeah.
Like it was just beyond Kiss, beyond rock and roll. It's just, like you said, a timeless classic hit.
Yeah, it stands alone.
Co-written by Michael Bolton.
Yeah.
How cool is that? So I wondered what the story was behind that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, how does Paul get in touch with Michael Bolton? So apparently Bruce Kulick we can thank for this, because Bruce Kulick was in a band with Michael Bolton.
I didn't know that.
Back in the day. Or something like that. I'm pretty sure. That Michael was with a band. Was in a band with Bruce, like called Blackjack or something.
Bruce has so many connections.
I know it's crazy, but yeah. So Bruce and Michael were in a band together.
That's amazing.
And even throughout the '80s, even though Bruce was doing all kinds of different things, and then now was working with Kiss full time, I guess he still demoed for Michael a little bit.
That's cool.
And I think Paul and Michael lived in the same building at the time.
Wow.
And so it was kind of like just almost like a match made in heaven.
Yeah, it's perfect.
But they got together, they wrote the song, made a masterpiece, and that was it. I don't think they really ever spoke again or hung out. Yeah, no, it was literally just let's get together. I want to write with you. Okay, let's do it. And then they came out with this song, and it was like, hey, high five for us. But
they should have done more.
That to me is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, how is there not okay, let's do a whole album of just Michael Bolton?
Yeah.
Because Paul, again, the leader of Kiss, was looking to bring Kiss back to the top, to the forefront. And while you had smash hit after hit, Lick It Up, Heaven's on Fire, keep going, Tears Are Falling, Crazy Nights, Forever. Every album was producing banger after banger, hit after hit. But the tours were not selling as much. The albums weren't going double, triple platinum, whatever. So, and it almost looked like with some of the songs Paul was doing at this time, Hide Your Heart, we listened to Sword and Stone, there's Time Traveler, Paul was kind of maybe looking to be a solo artist.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't playing the guitar in music videos for Let's Put the X in Sex, You Make Me Rock Hard. He was more like the Michael Jackson singer dancer kind of vibe. So
true frontman.
Frontman, yeah. So it's almost like, man, Paul, if you really wanted to do that and get some mainstream success, write a whole album of Forevers with Michael Bolton.
Yeah, literally.
And go on tour together and show everybody why, you're the best pop rock songwriter in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, Paul was always loyal to Kiss.
Very much so.
Always loyal to rock and roll. Golly, that's just incredible to me. Go Paul Stanley.
Yep.
Absolutely incredible. Great song. So is Silver Spoon.
Yeah.
Silver Spoon is one that I slept on for years. Written by Paul and Vinny Poncia. So, again, you had Gene and Vinny writing Love's a Slap in the Face. Well, now here's Paul taking a turn writing with Vinny Poncia. So, again, I wonder how that happened, because Gene and Paul don't really write together.
Yeah.
But I wonder if, he's writing with Vinny. Hey, Vinny, why don't you come write with me, too? I want to write a song with you, whatever. But, yeah, here we go. We get Silver Spoon. Absolutely awesome.
This is a great song.
This is it.
There's so much attitude in this song. And it's an interesting concept, because it's basically Paul saying I wasn't born wealthy or with a lot of privilege or anything. I had to get here on my own by working extra hard and never giving up and going through a bunch of crap, basically.
Yeah.
And so he's not gonna take any crap or put up with anybody who is trying to weigh him down when they have just been spoon-fed everything their whole lives and have since birth.
Yep.
I wasn't born with a silver spoon, and obviously whatever girl, I don't know if it's just a concept or based on something that actually happened, but
yeah, who knows?
Whoever he's talking about obviously did grow up with that wealth and privilege, and yeah, it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, Paul said in regards to this song, he said, I like what it says. We should be proud of who we are and not ever feel a need to apologize for where we come from.
I like that.
And isn't there a part for the solo or whatever, after there's a bridge where Paul says, don't tell me where you're going or where you come from. Because where I'm from, everybody's
somebody. I love that line. Yeah. I love that line.
Don't try to tell me where you've been or where you're going or who where you come from, because where I come from, everybody's somebody.
Yes, we're all worth something, and we all deserve a shot. Yeah. Another one of my favorite lines is, I always knew I'd be somebody. I kept it in my head. That is Paul Stanley's story in a nutshell.
I never even fathomed that. I never even processed that.
Yeah. That line is
that gives me
Paul's thesis statement.
That gives me the song off Psycho Circus, I Pledge Allegiance to the State of Rock and Roll, or Raise Your Glasses, or something like that, where it's where others only talked, I did it.
Yes.
Pick up my guitar and go to work, and I'm gonna be somebody. Wow.
Yeah, and he always retells that. Even now, he always retells that story about being a taxi driver and taking people to Madison Square and always thinking, telling people I'm gonna be there.
It's gonna be my band one day. Everyone's like, yeah, right. He's like, no, I get that in my head.
But that's just not just a story he tells. Like, that has, I mean, even this far back has always been true.
Yeah, finally we're getting some more of the uplifting stuff. Like,
Yeah.
we've had that. I mean, you're still working to fight.
Yes, there is
climb
still
that ladder.
That bittersweet, yeah.
But at least you're seeing that, like, why it's good to do that. Why it's you're seeing the positive side of that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so one of the more elusive things about this song, and for me, was the background singers.
That's what I was gonna say next.
Because to me, for the longest time, I actually thought it was Paul Stanley.
Are you serious?
But I thought it was Paul Stanley using a vocal filter.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because now, why I thought that, I don't know. Because it just didn't cross my mind that Kiss would have, actually hired women or hired people to come and do background vocals on their album. Like, it was always, either the guys in Kiss or someone like we talked about Phil earlier.
Yeah.
I think you have a guy like Jesse James or somebody who was also doing background vocals on some of these songs. I think that's his name. I could be butchering that name, but anyway, you had a few folks. But to have something so vastly different, and to have somebody come in and actually be,
it almost like throws me off the first time I hear it.
Yeah, like in a modern era, if that were to happen, those girls would be getting features.
Yeah.
Their names, it would be Kiss
featuring,
Girl 1, Girl 2, and Girl 3 on this song. But it's not, because back then it was just like whatever.
Yeah, and the only other time I can and there might be other ones, but the only other time that comes to mind for me that Kiss did stuff like this was on the solo albums.
Right, yes, all of them.
Because on all the solo albums, but especially Peters,
Gene and Peters
especially, like every single song, there are
like R&B
female vocalists in the background. Yeah. Yes,
it's very
Motown kind of vibe.
Very 60s.
Yes, exactly.
Because that's where Kiss came from. They were looking at the 60s for their 70s music.
And that's what it sounds like on this song. That's why it's so interesting to hear on a song from 1989.
Yeah.
Because it is giving more 60s, early 70s kind of vibes.
Yeah.
But it's really cool.
But I just always thought that it was Paul Stanley because the vocals were so good.
Yeah.
And they're hitting a lot of the same notes.
Sound amazing.
That Paul would be hitting on the same songs in the album. You know what I mean? So in my mind, it was always like, oh, Paul's just using a vocal effect to make it even higher, to make it more feminine, whatever. But no, it's actually, I figured out their names.
Oh, cool.
Charlotte Crosley, Valerie Pinkston, and Kim Edwards Brown.
Nice.
Those are the ladies that provided these incredible background vocals. But yeah, so great song. It's always one that I slept on, never appreciated it until actually my buddy Derek.
Oh, really?
It was Derek and Jed that was like, dude, Silver Spoon is the best song on the album. Wow. I'm like, what? Have you heard Rights to It? Have you heard? And it's like, yeah, but have you heard this one? And I'm like, apparently not.
Apparently not, yeah. Apparently not. I haven't really heard it.
Again, I mean, it's too far down on the album, I feel like, know. But either way, I love it. Great song.
It's a fantastic song.
Yeah. Cadillac Dreams, track number 9. This one is one of my favorite Gene songs on the whole album.
Me too. It's a good one. And what's interesting is that this one has a similar theme, although we're coming at it from a different perspective. But it almost has a similar theme to Silver Spoon, because we're talking about like money.
I want that money. Yes. I ain't got it, but I want it.
Yes, like his is in a more fun, like playful kind of way. But it's kind of the same. It's just interesting that I feel like that was maybe
same destination but different.
Yeah, different
route.
Roads. Yeah, I almost feel like it may have been intentional placing them side by side on the album.
Interesting.
Because they do explore similar themes, talking about wealth and money and success. Basically.
Okay. Guess what?
Oh,
plot twist.
What?
Song was written by Vinny and also.
Oh no way!
So the last song was Paul and Vinny, and this one's Gene and Vinny.
That makes sense.
So perhaps maybe there is something there. I don't know. But I never thought about that before.
Yeah. But yeah, the difference is this. This one's very like confident, independent. I'm gonna make it and be successful on my own.
I want money. That's all I need. I want money.
That's what I need.
I got Cadillac Dreams waiting on me.
Yeah.
Love that.
I love Mr. Don't You Take It From Me. I love that.
Don't you take it from me. I want money. Money. That's all I need. That is a fun song. That's one of the more fun songs on the album. One of the more favorite Gene songs in the album.
Yes, and the horns or the whatever
brass,
instruments. I think it's horns, maybe saxophones. I don't know.
It sounds like brass of some sort.
Yes, that I'm hearing on this song is so freaking good.
Yeah.
And that's actually how how we were just talking about having those female vocalists on Silver Spoon is a very old school,
very
60s
throwback
kind of thing to do. That's kind of the same. I get the same vibe from the horns on this
album. This album is nuts.
Kiss songs don't just have horns in the background.
They don't.
Usually.
No, they don't.
So it's a really fun switch up, and that's why I feel like Silver Spoon and Cadillac Dreams are like sister songs in my mind.
So Pat Reagan was the guy that played the horns.
Okay.
That's Pat Reagan.
Shout out Pat Reagan. You killed it.
Arranged by Paul Stanley.
No way.
I believe.
That's awesome.
I think Paul arranged it. Pat played it on Gene's song.
That's very cool.
By Vinnie Poncia. So just a really
That's cool. Because like you said, Gene and Paul don't write together often. So just even hearing that Paul had a hand in a Gene song like that is very cool.
I could be wrong, but according to some sources I read, it was Paul's arrangement. But you had Pat on there. So yeah, you're right. There's a lot of things in this album that you just don't really get. They're packing a punch here. Yes. Even though this album does have some loose spots, it's still really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Especially considering that track 10 is King of Hearts. This one, this is a hot take, so just bear with me here, but this, to me, is on the same level as like 1,000,000 to 1 from Lick It Up.
Yeah, it is.
Where it's like just a Paul Stanley gem.
Yes.
There's a difference between a Paul Stanley banger and a gem. Okay. All Paul songs are bangers. So at a certain point, you got to have the ones that are above that, and you get songs like 1,000,000 to 1, and King of Hearts, where it's just like extra special.
Yes.
And this is one that, again, lyrically, it's telling a story. It paints a picture. You can see that this one to me is almost like Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, yeah.
You know, except that, you know, she was just 19.
Yeah.
But in her eyes, she was old enough to know.
Yeah.
You know, that we gotta escape the bad scene. You know, it's like
we gotta run away. To hide your heart.
It almost feels like Hide Your Heart, or it's taking place in the same city as Hide Your Heart.
Okay.
But it's different characters.
I like that.
It's like, okay, that's what's happening on the west side, right? Yeah. West Side Story.
Right.
But on the east side of you know, New York or whatever, you have the King of Hearts and this story. So it's almost like, this album is just like maybe taking place all in one city. And we're meeting all the different characters, and we're meeting all the different people.
Yeah.
And you got people who are, you know, money hungry and they want money and they got this drive, and you got some folks who are, well, man, life is like, you know, I feel betrayed.
Yeah, life sucks, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you're getting all these different perspectives from. It's crazy.
This album is cool. More than I ever thought.
I did not expect any of this when we went into this episode, but I'm loving it. This is fun.
That's why it's fun to break down these songs, song by song, on the podcast, because we listen to these albums when we do these. We listen to them together some, but we mostly listen to them separately, like over and over and over again, and kind of make our own personal notes and try not to talk about it too much.
Right.
So, like, we already have our own thoughts that we've come up with, but in discussing it, we come to even more conclusions and realize more things. It's very cool.
Is this plugged in? Because it's not charging for some reason.
Let's check and see.
All right, that's super weird. Hopefully it doesn't die in the middle of our show. Yeah, but anyway, where were we at? We were on King of Hearts.
King of Hearts.
Yeah. So this one, you just got Paul Stanley going ham on vocals, and allegedly you have possibly Kevin Valentine, either Kevin Valentine or Eric Singer also on this drum track as well.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it could be Eric Carr as well. Who really knows? But I thought it was interesting, just even the possibility of having Eric Singer on this album just kind of blew my mind.
I know it's stupid, but I just have to say it. If it is the Valentine guy, King of Hearts.
King of Hearts. Hey,
it makes sense.
You were waiting for me to finish my sentence, weren't you? You're like, for the love.
I was like,
please finish your sentence.
That's all I can think about. That's like, stupid.
Yeah, no. Hey, I'm glad you said that. That's funny. But yeah, no. I mean, it's just a great song.
Yeah.
I love the song. I think it tells a great story of running away with a lover, and it just feels like you can. Let me get the lyric sheet out, because this is one of the ones where you can really just see the story taking place in your head. She was just 19, but in her eyes. Oh, there's a typo. It says, but in her eyes.
Her eyes?
It should say her, yeah.
That's so funny.
It should be
her.
But in her eyes, she was old enough to know that we were caught between two city streets like a bad dream. We could barely survive in the world outside where the writing's on the wall. Still, she lets me know we can't just let go, and she takes my heart away. And when she tells me I want it, I go crazy. I need it. When she touches, I feel it. Right there in her eyes. I'm the King of Hearts. Living in a fantasy. The King of Hearts, when she's laying next to me, shining like a jewel tonight. Love is going to rule tonight, and I'm going to be the only one to be king of hearts.
I'm sorry, but I know you said you like to think that this is another story happening in the Hide Your Heart city world, but I almost feel like maybe this could be Johnny singing this song. Like that's what it makes me feel. Like at the beginning, she's old enough to know that this is bad. You know what I mean? Like we're caught between two city streets, Tito's side of town, from the shady side of town, and Johnny's world. It's a bad dream. We could barely survive in the world. The writing's on the wall. We know this is going to end badly, but we're in love.
We could leave tonight and save ourselves from a bad scene, and they try to, but they don't. When we walk on by with our heads up high, all the faces turn. Oh my gosh. We can make our getaway.
This is like Johnny's like hopeful song, like that they can maybe make it.
Interesting.
But the writing's on the wall.
Wow.
I hope that Paul, because I know Hide Your Heart was probably written first because it was pre-recorded. I hope he was inspired by his own song to write this.
Maybe this album is just Tito and Rosa and Johnny's story. Like Forever.
Yeah.
And Rise to It.
Yeah.
The street giveth and the street taketh away. Love is like a slap in the face.
Stop. It's too good.
Read my body. No, I meant like maybe this album, Hot in the Shade, you know? Hot in the Shade, you know? I think this album is...
It's more conceptual than it appears.
You Love Me to Hate You. We're going to get to that one next. Let's go ahead and get to the street giveth and the street taketh away.
Yes.
This has been a long episode already, but we're having.
I knew it would be because this is such a long.
We're having a fun.
There's so much to say.
Yeah, we're having a fun time with this one. But here we go with another Gene song. Gene and Tommy.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think I caught that one.
That's
fun. Another Tommy co-write.
Gene and Tommy Thayer co-write. What do you think about this one? Any notes on this one?
Yeah, sorry, let me look at my notes real quick.
For me, it's just an average Gene song. Nothing really special about it. But it's fun.
I see the lyrics?
The lyrics? Yeah, sure.
Sorry to always talk about the lyrics. I know a lot of you might be more on the musical side of things, which I try and touch on, but I'm also a very lyrical person.
We've gotten a couple comments on folks saying, hey, awesome lyrical analysis, so I think it's kind of cool that we're doing this because I feel like Kiss's lyrics are often overlooked, forgotten, and neglected.
Yes.
And not really paid attention to.
Right.
We kind of just look at Kiss as like, you know, what they do on stage and what they sell. Which I love what they do on stage and I love what they sell. Yeah. But at the same time, and their music is great too, but like when it comes to a song with lyrics are 50% of that song. You have the music and the words. And so we kind of often forget about the lyrics to songs. But
yeah, this song, it's not my favorite Gene one either. I could kind of take or leave it.
So could the street.
I know. I was like, that's funny. And it seems like one of those ones that's just kind of nonsensical at first. But if you read the lyrics more, I almost feel like it's Gene like kind of warning somebody about the consequences of their lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
So he says, "You think you've been had? I'm here to bet you. Street's gonna get you." Let's see. What was another line? You got yours, I got mine. Gonna get what's coming to you, because the street giveth and the street take it away.
So you reap what you sow.
Yes. Don't you understand? You're just a roll of the dice. There ain't no life after death, so save your breath. You're gonna be a rock and roll suicide. Okay, this is something I almost forgot to mention, which I can't believe I almost forgot to mention. Every time I've ever heard this song prior to this listen, I've immediately, at the beginning, hey man, thought, David Bowie. That sounds like Suffragette City.
Okay.
And so I always think about David Bowie, and I always just kind of think that it's either coincidental or it's Gene kind of maybe subtly doing a little reference to Bowie.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't notice until this time around that he says Rock and Roll Suicide, which is another David Bowie song from The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust. And so I'm thinking both of those are intentional Bowie references.
Oh, that's cool.
Because, I mean, Rock and Roll Suicide, I can't, like, that is David Bowie.
Maybe. Interesting.
So that's just cool. Because I'm a big Bowie fan, so that's kind of cool to see that in there.
I like that.
But yeah, conceptually, I mean, he says, do you need a hand? But I ain't no blessing in disguise. So he's like, there's only so much I can do for you. Like, I'm not going to, like, you have to save yourself, basically.
Right.
Is what I'm getting from that. Feel the agony and the ecstasy. It's like...
Golly.
It's like whatever you're doing, whether it's, drugs, alcohol, like this crazy, like, street or party lifestyle, whatever it is that he's warning about. He's like, yeah, you might be having a blast right now. You might feel that ecstasy now, but the street giveth and the street taketh away. So you're going to get the other side of it soon. You're going to get what's coming to you.
Feel the agony.
Feel the agony, feel the ecstasy. It's going to burn right through you.
Jeez. So, okay, we keep saying it, but this album just keeps presenting. This is so clear to me now.
Yeah.
Feel the agony, the ecstasy. The street giveth, the street taketh away.
Yes.
You love me to hate you. Somewhere between heaven and hell. Mm-hmm. Prisoner of love. Hot in the shade. There are so many of these.
The last few lines of this song, before the last chorus, are, life's too short, so help yourself, because I don't walk on water. It's like, I'm trying to help you with my advice right now, but I'm not your savior. Like, I've got my own life, and it's not my responsibility to save you. You gotta save yourself.
Ooh.
That's deep. I think it's not like one of my favorite songs I would replay, but it's deeper than you think.
This album has so much more to it than folks, I think, realize, and myself as well.
I would really like to hear Tommy talk about this song and, like, what the songwriting process was like from his perspective.
Absolutely.
It's very cool.
Track number 12, You Love Me to Hate You.
Yes.
This is kind of like Silver Spoon. This is another Paul song from this album that I just kind of slept on for so long and didn't really listen to it or would just kind of skip over it. But this is one that is a must listen.
Oh my gosh.
This is one of my favorite ones. This is like one I look forward to.
Yes, and this is another one that is buried too far on this album.
It is. It's actually the last Paul song on the album.
Wow, you're right.
There's
three non-Paul songs after
So maybe
this.
it's just far enough down because
yeah.
I bet Paul's like, all right, that's as far as I'm going. Everybody else, Eric Carr, Gene, whatever.
Yeah, you guys do your thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But it is one of the best tracks on the album. Paul's vocals go absolutely insane on this song. Mm-hmm. It's just fantastic, and of course it is Paul Stanley, Desmond Child. So of course it's perfect.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned Desmond Child co-writing because. Desmond Child also co-wrote the song "I Hate Myself for Loving You" by Joan Jett around the same time.
The love and hate thing, you're right.
I hate myself for loving you. You love me to hate you.
Yeah.
And this song was kind of compared to that. That's why it was kind of written off, and nobody really liked it.
Yeah.
Because it had too many similarities to that.
That's fair.
Which I kind of get, but I don't even care. I don't even see that. This song to me is just like its own.
Of course, girl, you want me to cry. Feel like
what I love about this song is how it goes from the very chill, subdued verses.
Yeah.
You're like a cat on a hot tin roof. And that da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
He's using these more quiet, more subtle vocals.
Yes, the
before it gets to
dynamic range.
Before it gets to the really high, powerful, where it's layered vocals.
Yes, oh my gosh, the harmonies on his layered vocals.
Paul Stanley's already singing at an 11 as far as, range goes. He's just at the top of his range.
Yeah.
And then he's doing another completely different vocal track where he's singing even higher, it feels like. And then he's layering those two.
Yeah.
And so it's just power pop Paul Stanley.
Yes, which is my favorite Paul Stanley.
And guess what? That could have been Paul and Michael Bolton.
That's so true.
Because imagine Michael Bolton on this song singing with Paul.
Stop.
Dude, that would be nuts.
Imagine him doing those harmonies
That's what
instead
I'm saying.
of just layering Paul's own voice.
That's what I'm saying. I want to hear Michael with Paul.
Yep.
Because those two together would just annihilate a vocal
you're right.
track. But, I mean, this is piercing. I mean, you had My Way on the last album, Crazy Nights. Now you've got Love Me to Hate You, where Paul is just hitting the gas on the vocals. But I love the verse has, like, because Bruce's guitar is like, dun, 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 dun. I can't do it right. I sound stupid. But, like, just the music, it's so chill in the beginning.
Yeah.
And what are the opening lyrics to that song?
You tell lies when you look at me, smile when you look away, spin a web any fool can see, put your candy on display. It's a game of who needs who's on top, me or you.
Yeah, who's in charge.
Pleasure and pain, first of all.
Yeah, they feel the same when the night is through. Golly. Yeah, but there it is. More of those juxtapositions and a lot of those juxtapositions. I've heard both. I don't care. Okay. But either way, yeah, it's just really cool.
Yeah, fantastic song. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's just so good.
Yep. Kevin Valentine is also rumored to have been played on this as well.
Okay.
Who knows? But I'm pretty sure that it could be Kevin Valentine as well, which would make sense. But yeah, great. Another Paul and Desmond Child co-write.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
No notes.
But yeah, that hot tin roof.
Yeah, some of the lyrics are a little silly.
It is so funny. Okay, it's giving me the warning that... Golly, why won't this charge? All right, number 13, Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell.
Yes.
I have a special history with this song, if I may.
Yeah.
So when Jeb and I were... obviously when we were young, we had no access to all the Kiss albums. It was like us just picking and grabbing what we could. We only had a handful of albums, but when Kiss did the farewell tour, and they had that pay-per-view for the East Rutherford show, on the pay-per-view only, not on Kissology, but just the pay-per-view only, in between Firehouse and Heaven's on Fire, they showed this 9-minute history video, like a compilation highlight reel, where it started from 73, 74, and it went all the way to 2000, and it showed all these clips, music videos, and interviews of Kiss, just real quick, boom, boom, boom. And that was like, because we saw Kiss Extreme close up, which gave us a nice overview. But when you're 5 years old, you're just like, all you want is more Kiss.
Right.
And the only thing you don't have is like infinite Kiss. So having Kiss Extreme close up was like a long form highlight reel, but this was like a 9-minute condensed. And when it got to the Hot in the Shade section of the video, they played a snippet, a portion of this, just the dun 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 dun, just the main beat, and the chorus, Somewhere Between Heaven and Hell, and they showed some clips of Kiss from that era, so it was really cool. But for years, we never knew what that song was. Because I guess you can deduce that it's called that, but we didn't know that that was the name of the song.
Right.
We assumed it was from Hot in the Shade, but we didn't have a copy of Hot in the Shade. So I'm not even joking, from the time I was 5 years old until high school, the only portion of this song I knew and or heard was that small bit from the chorus.
That's crazy.
And once we got the album, Jeb and I popped it in, and we hear this, and we go, "Oh my gosh, that's it!
That's it. There it
That's
is.
the song from the video
Awesome.
from all those years ago." And suddenly it made sense.
That's so cool.
So this song, even though I think some folks might want to call it Gene filler, it's like this one's always been kind of like a special rarity.
Yeah.
A special. I don't want to say it's a gem, but it's a rarity.
It is actually, I'll be honest, it is one of my favorite Gene songs on the album.
It is mine too.
It is a really good song, and I wanted to point out that I think this is the second time on the album that we have Gene and Paul songs back to back that are similar.
Really?
Because this one actually reminds me conceptually and lyrically of You Love Me to Hate You. First of all, they both have a lyric about pleasure and pain.
Right.
And they're both kind of talking about the same type of relationship where they're like, depending on the day, not sure if this woman loves or hates them, you know what I mean, is giving them mixed signals and is dragging them around.
Yeah.
And it's, somewhere between heaven and hell. You love me to hate you. They feel very tied together in the same way that Silver Spoon and Cadillac Dreams did.
For sure. I like that, yeah. This is an interesting song because we've heard of love songs, we've heard of breakup songs, but this is like in the in-between phase.
Yes, somewhere between.
Somewhere between heaven and hell. It's like
it's a lot more of a nuanced type of relationship song. It's like...
It's almost like by the moment it could change.
Yes. Yeah, it's like both of these songs, they are actively with this other person, but they are being jerked around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
For real. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Little Caesar now.
Yes.
Eric Singer's vocal debut.
Eric Carr.
That's Eric Singer.
You got Eric Singer on the brain, though.
I'm sorry.
We've been talking about him.
Sorry, let me try that again. Little Caesar, Eric Carr's vocal debut.
Yes.
Technically, that's not true.
Okay.
His vocal debut was actually on Beth on Smashes and Hits.
Yeah,
but this is his
that's
first.
A re-record.
This is his first original vocal debut, and this song went through rewrite after rewrite. I know the Ain't That Peculiar is the demo I've heard.
Okay, interesting.
And then there was another one. I can't remember what the name of it was. I think it might have just been called No One's Messing With You, which is a very similar lyric.
Yeah.
So, but there was a couple rewrites until it finally got to Little Caesar. But the song is good, but I don't think it's Eric's best work. I
agree.
Eric had brought better stuff and was capable of better stuff. But this is what Paul was allowing him to have.
Right. I do still enjoy it. It's not, like you said, it's not his best, but it is fun. It's funny because when we were listening to this, I think on the way back from the airport from Vegas, I asked you, because I never really understood this song that much, and I was like, Little Caesar, like, what do they mean? And you basically told me, modern day interpretation, Short King.
Short King. There's a trend, or
it cracked me up.
Yeah, there's Yeah.
That's like a modern day slang thing.
A modern slang for a guy who's short but who's still awesome.
Yes, and that
still talented.
Just the idea that we shouldn't like base somebody's worth based on their height.
Yeah.
Short king, and I just love that because Caesar is like royalty.
And little Caesar, short king.
I'm sorry, that's just so.
So
cute.
it actually does. It's a very honest and
I love it.
Perfect translation.
Yeah, and it is still fun, and it still fits into the general vibe of the album. I mean, the first few lyrics. 10 million stories in the city, 10 million backs against the wall. Desperation's out tonight, you can cut it with a knife.
Yeah, like that.
Everybody wants to have it all. Like, it really fits in with the themes we've been talking about.
It's a very dog-eat-dog album.
Yeah.
Or the album's about talking about a dog-eat-dog world. You gotta fight for your right to party.
I was about to say.
I'm just kidding. You gotta fight in life.
Yeah. But this is another one that is, and I'm glad, because it's towards the end, and I'm glad we're ending on a more positive note, but this is one that is more like motivational. Hey, little Caesar, nobody's messing with you. Show them what you can do. So I do like that even though we're talking about the gritty, like, rough side of life, it's still, like, a motivational song. It's fun.
Eric made a comment. Eric Carr said, it's basically about me because I'm this little guy that and I fought my way and I don't listen to anybody else. And, he says, I'm this little guy that fought his way and doesn't listen to anybody else and does what he wants to do. It's basically saying that anybody can do that. It was kind of like a nickname I got from Gene.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that idea of Gene giving him that name. I think my favorite lyric on this song is, well, they tried to tell you the world is rough, but they never rocked it hard enough. That is great.
Yeah, very cool. Let's go to Boomerang. Boomerang, I think, is... I don't know. Prisoner of Love may still be my favorite Gene song, but this one's one of my favorite Gene songs on the album, too.
It is so high energy.
This one is one of my favorite songs because it is so fast and heavy.
Yes, dude, Eric Carr is going nuts.
I hope it's Eric Carr.
I hope it is. I hope it is, because he's going crazy.
It could be a drum machine, but there's some patterns in there towards the solo where you can tell that's just, it sounds like something Eric Carr would do live.
Yeah.
For me, it's the Hugo Bega drums. Hugo Bega. It's a double bass. It's my favorite.
I love, what is it?
Turn on the juice,
Bruce.
Yes.
That's so good.
There's a few in History, a few times where Gene does these awesome vocal call-outs.
Yes, I love it. Calls out other members. It's so cool.
On Sonic Boom, he says, dig this.
Yeah.
And I think Hot and Cold, maybe. But either way, yeah, so now it's, turn on the juice, Bruce.
That's so
and then
good.
Bruce comes in with this electric solo. And this sounds crazy, I know, but like everybody that listens to the solo now will hear it. Whenever he says that, turn on the juice, Bruce, and it goes into that solo when Eric Carr is just absolutely just going ham on the drums. The notes that Bruce plays right there, to me, it almost sounds like rain falling.
Oh.
Like, it makes no sense, but I get this image of either glass shattering or just rain falling from the notes that he's hitting. So listen to the first few notes of the solo after Gene says,
okay,
turn on
I
the
like
juice,
that.
Bruce. And for some reason in my mind, it's just like this image of rain falling or glass shattering.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Bruce absolutely kills this song.
He really does.
This is my favorite Kiss, when Kiss gets fast and heavy like this. Because they do the really good, Forever, right? They have Forever, you have Tears Are Falling, and some of those songs. Love it, great. They're always going to be hits and sappy. Okay, great. But I love it when Kiss turns up to 11 and goes ham like this.
Yes.
Songs like Under the Gun on... Animalize, and you have songs like I'm Alive and Love's a Deadly Weapon on Asylum. Songs like this are just my favorite because of their speed, their energy. And Gene, talk about a boomerang. You'll always come back to me, or I'll always come back to you. What's the lyric? What's the last lyric in the song?
Here I come and here I go.
Here I come and here I go.
Like a boomerang.
Like a boomerang.
And he's also talking about that back and forth again.
Gosh dang it, you're right.
You change your tune, make up or break up. Where was the other one? Oh, first you're cold and then you're hot. You're in the mood and then you're not. So it's a lot of that back and forth.
You're hot and cold, you're loud and you're,
Yeah. But I seriously do think that this is a very underrated song, and it is one of the best, if not the best, Gene one on this album.
Yeah,
it's surprisingly strong. Like, I feel like a lot of times they kind of tend to save the weaker Gene songs for the end of the album. They just kind of shove them to the end there.
Yeah.
But this one,
Animalize.
This is one that I have overlooked until now, and
Boomerang.
I've been sleeping on it,
this
but not
one,
anymore.
We did a playlist recently.
Did we mention that Bruce has a co-write on this?
Oh, we didn't.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
Sorry.
Yeah. No.
Playlist?
Yeah, we did what was it, a Gene playlist recently?
Yes, for his birthday.
For his birthday,
Yep.
yes. And I had Boomerang on mine because...
See, and if I redid it now, I would add it.
Yeah, because of just how awesome this song really is. But yeah, so what I think is the cool thing about this song is that this is the last song that we hear Eric Carr playing drums on, first of all. So you get an all-out, I'm assuming, Eric Carr drum track, which is awesome. But isn't it cool how this is the last song of the 80s, the last song before Revenge?
Yeah.
So Kiss, they're leaving their hair metal, phase behind, and we have a nice, hard and heavy track on the album, which gets us prepared for what's going to happen next time.
A little taste of what's to come.
Yeah, now obviously there's no way of actually predicting that. They weren't like, hey guys, we're going to turn real heavy.
It's not an Easter egg, but it is a good indication.
Yeah. But it's cool to know that when you look back on it, it's like you have a really great album of Hot in the Shade. It's got some really great 80s stuff on it. Okay, great. But when you get to Boomerang, it's like they're leaving that in the past.
Yep.
And they're looking ahead towards the 90s.
Yep. And
they're about to get heavy again. And so I like the fact that you listen to Boomerang and then the next song is Unholy.
Yeah, wow.
And it's a nice little bridge there.
Absolutely.
It works. A nice Gene song.
I agree.
What I never really contemplated and really appreciated is that as soon as that song ends, Boomerang, the last thing you hear on the album is Gene saying, have mercy.
I love it.
He says, have mercy, and then it immediately ends. There is no have mercy, and then now it's over. No, It's like have mercy, and then if you're in the car, it'll change to the next CD, or it'll go back to song 1. But yeah, so it's like you get this blistering track, and then Gene at the end, all exhausted, have mercy.
I love it.
But yeah, it's just one of those cool things, kind of like Turn on the Juice, Bruce, where Gene just kind of gives us a little something extra to appreciate. But this album, again, I did not anticipate half of this coming into this.
Yeah.
This has been one of the more fun album reviews that we've ever done. I do want to wrap it up because I'm afraid that my computer is going to die.
This is also a long episode, so shout out if you're still watching.
If you're watching, I really do appreciate it. I am going to get to the Collector's Corner, but guess what? It has nothing to do with me today.
Okay.
I had nothing to show for me because I didn't buy anything for me. I bought something for you.
Okay.
The Kiss Army Things Patreon subscribers.
Yes, shout out.
They are aware of this, but I wanted to show on camera. That is not it. This is it right here. So, again, we went to Vegas recently. Okay, we went to Kiss World. It was awesome. And the whole time I was like, man, I really want to get something for our Patreon subscribers. I want to get something for the Kiss Army Things super fans. And so I thought, what would be a cool commemorative gift from Vegas that I could, send in the mail and would be able to get to them. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to get each and every subscriber to the Patreon a Kiss World golf ball. And so here they are. I picked this up from when we were in Vegas. Each one has an icon from the member on the back. And then on the other side, it says Kiss World Las Vegas. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to pick up one for each of you guys. So you'll be getting a random one. It could be a Star Child, could be a Catman, a Demon. Who knows? So, but I wanted to just let you guys know, the Patreon folks, that is coming to you. And I think I did show the rest of the Vegas stuff in the Vegas video.
Yes,
so if you want, you can check it out there. But I just wanted to again thank you, say a huge thank you to the Patreon folks, because we have some fun over on Patreon, some bonus content. But you guys supporting the channel really means a lot to me. I have another idea for a bonus Patreon video I want to upload, more personal over there. So I'll get to that. But just want to say a quick thank you, guys. And I'm going to end it with the Kiss Merch of the Year. I'm going to need your help, though.
Okay.
Because it's over there. It is the umbrella.
The umbrella. And what year are we on?
This is episode 114. So this is from 2014.
Wow.
Remember when you got this for me?
Yes, I do.
All those years ago?
I do.
So I think, oh, snap, 2015.
Oh, no.
2015. Bummer. I'll have to get that out. Get that out for next time. All right. Well, I mean, you guys know me. I have something from every year in reaching distance. So,
of course.
So no harm, no foul. I will go ahead and show this instead. So I'm going to be showing the 2014 40th anniversary tour book. I showed this actually briefly in the 40th anniversary video I did a couple months ago, because it was the 10th anniversary of the 40th anniversary. But this tour book, absolutely. I love the logo that they made just for Kiss 40, just for the tour. You open it up to a killer shot of Kiss from the Hotter Than Hell tour, or at least the Hotter Than Hell costumes, which I believe that is the next
That's incredible.
Album we're going to be reviewing.
Nice.
Is Hotter Than Hell. It's the 50th anniversary coming up. But yeah, so you open that up, you get a really cool picture there, and then I think pretty much every page is like another year in history or a different era, which most Kiss tour books tend to do that, which I love.
Yeah.
And here we go. There's some crazy nights right there. Let's get to the Hot in the Shade part. Is this the... Well, I guess it's kind of skipping past.
Yeah, we're kind of skipping.
But either way, yeah. So, really cool tour book.
Awesome.
Oh, I like that. It has all the albums.
Look at this, though.
Yeah?
That's
a
amazing.
sweet centerfold right there.
Yeah, I love that.
That's really cool. Black and white. See, it could have been in full color, but no.
No, I like it in black and white.
Yeah, black and white rocks. You wanted the best, you got the best. Kiss on the back with the spider stage, which was my absolute favorite. So, yep, that's my. Maybe I'll do the umbrella for next time. You guys get a little sneak preview. Actually, I don't think I will. I gotta do it something different now. I gotta switch it up.
Yeah, but
I gotta find something else.
Though maybe we'll do two.
Yeah, maybe we'll do two. I don't know. We'll see. We really do appreciate you guys joining us. And so what I want to know from you guys is, if you were around this time, what are your memories of this album coming out? Did you see Kiss on this tour? What an awesome tour.
Yeah.
We watched some clips before this episode just to get hyped up.
Fire.
And I could have sat and watched the entire show. It was the Palace of
I know,
Auburn
we had to
Hills.
remind ourselves, okay, we actually do have to film
Yeah, we actually do have to do something. But anyway, yeah, super fun. But I want to know from you guys, what do you guys like about this album? What are your favorite songs, favorite lyrics, favorite solos, favorite whatever? How would you reorder? You heard us talk about moving this song up, moving this song down. What's your hot in the shade track list? I want to know. So leave it in the comments, and be sure to subscribe. And we'll see you in the next episode, which is episode 115. I do believe we are going to be celebrating Hotter Than Hell, doing a 50th anniversary album review breakdown. So we're going to be back right here again, talking about Kiss albums, Kiss music, my favorite thing to do, my favorite band. And if it's your guys' too, you're in the right place. So really do appreciate you guys being here. We'll see you next time on Kiss Army Things. My name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
Peace out. Rock on.